Dormammu, I've come to podcast.
Hi, guys.
Hi.
Hello.
Welcome, everyone, to What the Fiction. Let's go around the table and introduce ourselves. I'm Marie-Claire Gould, and with me to my left is...
It's been a hot minute. I'm your husband, Kyle Gould, just so you remember.
Oh, wait a second. What?
I'm Robin. I'm going to say that Johnny was my favorite character of the movie.
Ooh.
Oh, we're doing favorites? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm Will, and I'm gonna say that none of the characters were my favorite characters in that movie.
The
Wow.
baby.
We'll have to think about it.
Okay.
That's fair. You can think about it. Can I blow your mind real quick
Sure.
about Johnny? So you said Johnny's your favorite character, or do you mean Eddie Munson from Stranger Things?
Okay, so I already knew that.
You already knew that? Oh, okay.
I know Joseph Quinn's career trajectory has been amazing.
That's hot. He's hot right on fire.
Yeah. Eddie Munson had a total of 42 minutes of screen time in a 9-hour season of Stranger Things, and yet is still one of the most iconic and talked about characters of that season, despite that being his only appearance in the season. Spoilers.
Fair.
He is not moving on to season 5.
Oh, okay.
And yet Joseph Quinn has had so many opportunities and so many roles past this point, and is now starring in a major Marvel movie.
I know. As none other than Johnny Storm.
Which is
quite
amazing.
Yeah.
But I was like, he's blonde, short-haired. I was hoping you hadn't quite recognized him,
Nope.
and then you were going to be like, what the? But you're that much more connected to the Joseph Quinn of the world. So,
Yeah.
And his rising flame.
Who was your favorite character?
It's always Sue Storm.
I really liked Sue in this one, too. I've struggled with the Sues in other versions. And
I think she
this
was really
one-
compelling.
Yeah. Vanessa Kirby, knocking it out of the park.
Mm-hmm. I can tell you why that is in a second once Will tells us. Did you figure it out? Who's
really
your favorite?
Appreciated the read done by Pedro Pascal.
I love Pedro Pascal. Guys, we've been in the same room as him.
That's true.
And Ryan Gosling.
We have also been in the same room as Ryan Gosling. Kind of at the same time. That
Yeah.
was crazy.
It was a big room.
The same room.
To be fair, it was a convention hall.
Yes.
A lot of people were in that room, we could say.
Will, did you figure out who your favorite character was?
I am going to say Johnny.
Okay.
Yeah, I love Johnny.
Honestly, I loved all of them. I thought this version of Ben was really compelling and interesting. Reed felt exactly the way that I've ever read him in the comics, which is not very much. And yeah, Sue is great too.
I
And
think
Johnny,
Pedro-
of course, was great.
I think Pedro Pascal did a really good job
Mm-hmm.
as Reed. He was very full of heart, but his characters normally are, so.
We're gonna get into all of the spoilers. So if you haven't seen the movie,
Go see it.
Go wait. Yeah, put this on pause and go see the movie. And
Listen
then-
to us after the movie on your drive home.
Unless you're one of those people that just listens to me to hear what I have to say and doesn't necessarily watch
Or-
the movies.
To hear what I have to say.
Oh, I mean, fair. There are people that just listen in for the Robin content and the Will content.
Oh no, there's no people, I assure you.
Okay. People think you're smart.
I want to jump in with some of my favorite things about this movie because I want to articulate it now so that I can get it out of my head. One, I will go on record as saying this is probably the most iconic catch piece to a song, leitmotif to a song ever. It's up there in the annals with Superman's theme song.
The Fantastic Four theme song.
Yes.
Yeah.
This theme song.
They had it on repeat in the commercials. So
This theme song is now forever indelibly ingrained in my brain, and that says music is our key to the movie itself most of the time. And when you give us something as triumphant as Michael Giacchino's given us for this, I cannot help but think that it's going to do blockbusters in the theater because people will just be driven to that theme, and it will be still something we will be able to hum and hear and know immediately from here on out.
And it played really well when it was quieter too, not just the triumphant theme.
Yeah. I mean, music is so core to us as individuals. Birds, they do not speak, but they sing. So I can completely understand why the theme spoke to you so much, Dad.
Yeah, it is the best superhero leitmotif of them all. I know them all, and it's the best Marvel's ever done, and hands down. I could easily argue that one. But overall, it's up there with all of the others. Batman's initial Danny Elfman theme and Superman's theme. It is 10:30 at night, so I'm not able to drop as many others off the top of my head. But
would you say that you, as you know, the big Fantastic Four head at the table, would you say that this is the best adaptation?
Oh God, I want to get into that in a bit.
Okay, we'll talk about the nitty gritty later.
Yeah, theme song, hands down, incredible, and it had the best look of any Marvel movie
the aesthetic
I've seen
was
in a very long time.
Like gorgeous. But I also think that's because the director, of course, was involved in WandaVision, and they had such a strong, purposeful aesthetic.
Even the 60s episode of WandaVision was very good. Like, they understand how to do a decade, anachronistic decade piece well.
What was your favorite thing about the movie?
I liked how it was just a good superhero movie. Like, I said this to my family about the Superman after I saw it, and I was like, yeah, that was a good superhero movie, and it's very hard nowadays to do a very good superhero movie, and that was a good superhero movie. I have some thoughts about it, but it was a very, very good superhero movie.
What was your favorite part of this one?
Yeah, I really liked the way that they kind of fulfilled that. There was a kind of a subtle conversation in the entire movie about unconventional family structures. Because obviously, you know, 4 adults are living together, a married couple, and then, you know, the brother-in-law, younger brother, so okay, that makes sense. But then also, like, their best friend Ben is living with them. And obviously they're all bonded by this previous experience and, like, all these things. But it was really a breaking of that traditional family unit that we're very accustomed to and might expect from something that's portraying such a 60s, 50s aesthetic. We're getting that kind of close, like, you know, we see a lot of Ben and Reed interacting, and later in the movie, Ben is being like kind of a tertiary parent to what was the
Franklin.
Franklin?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I hate that name. It's very 60s, so I can't be mad at it, but
it's Franklin.
It's definitely an odd name.
Is he actually a turtle?
Maybe. But yeah, like, Johnny does not really ever take on any of the parenting, and that's fine. He's just a fun uncle. But definitely Ben does. Ben is seen frequently holding the kid, is one of the first choice of people holding the kid, you know. Ben makes all of the meals. Like, all of these people are taking on this, like, burden of co-parenting, and that's what I really enjoyed about the movie.
There's certainly the eating of the feet scene, right, for Johnny. They all showed varieties of masculine nurturing, which is rare to see. And in fact, I don't think that we've seen a strong version of 3 masculine characters that have all taken care of a young baby since the 1980s with 3 men and a little baby in that series.
It was a very good representation, and like it was clear like certain people had certain limitations and boundaries with that childcare role, but each character was very dedicated to taking care of the kid, and it wasn't all on Sue to be the primary caretaker, you know, and the boys were all allowed to go do whatever they want. No, all of them shared that burden and that responsibility, and that was maybe one of my favorite parts, because it's important to show family structures that also include more nuance than just, you know, parents and relatives, you know. So.
I love that. I really loved, and I should have seen it coming with Galactus, because I know that he is Galactus the Devourer, but the use of the mythic motif, the House of Atreus, which is, long story short, from Greek mythology, where a bunch of parents have either eaten or fed their children to other people, and it represents this consumptive curse that is on families. And we can see very clearly that Galactus has this curse, and he demands the baby. And oftentimes when there is a continuation of the curse, or other people take on the curse, they feed the child to the gods, or they feed the child in a way to appease the gods. And in this circumstance, they were like, no way, we are not going to feed the child to the gods. And that is an excellent metaphor to saying, no, we are going to say we're going to protect our future, which is what the baby represents, the future of both the family, the future of the world. It helps that this child is also classified as a divine child, i.e. godlike powers that we can't know anything about, so that the motif itself is to say the future is also healing. The future is also something that is anti-consumption, anti-destruction. We have a chance to heal. And we do see Franklin heal Sue by the end of the movie. And that overall theme is so anti the current world view that we are facing that is very consumptive. Everything that we do, AI, burning of our forests, boiling our oceans, is all very consumptive and not creative. And it's the overall big meta thesis of the story. And I was so enthralled that they put that in there. And the key was nurturing masculine to enable the future.
It's interesting because, like, obviously, you know, you have like a lot of aspects of creation throughout the whole movie, but like, what is the form of human creation if not like caregiving for children?
Yeah, exactly.
We're gonna make this kid who they are, you know, like through caregiving, which, while, you know, like pregnancy and the birth was definitely a big part of this movie for Sue's character, right? But like all of the characters created and helped nurture the child in throughout the entirety of that movie.
And in a way, the Earth also agreed to care for the child. They care for themselves and they care for the child. And that is the metaphor that has been missing from all sorts of crazy stories out there, to understand that we must care for the children because we have to care for the future of the human race as a whole.
And you can definitely see the shift in the overall human Earth population when they meet Franklin.
Yeah.
Because before that point, Franklin is this idea. Oh, it's like a trolley problem of one life for all of these others, you know? Like, what would you do? And there are superheroes. They have this right to kill their baby. But I couldn't imagine that any of those bystanders could sacrifice their own baby.
And they talk about that, but they never explain it in that way. They talk about it through the lens of Reed already doing those calculations, but never going that far to actually explain it that way. That's perfect.
And they really do, like, they completely show us how once something is real, once something is our future, it's not this like, and this is so like apropos of the time. So it's like, once something is physically in front of you, once something, you can see it, you can know how it feels, you can hear it, you can see this baby cry, there is no part of you that can just pretend that it's like an imagined future, that like the 7 generations theory is just a theory, you know? That kid is in front of you, you would be killing a baby, you know?
And I think that's why you like Sue, and this is why she is your favorite Sue Storm, because in all of the other iterations of the Fantastic Four, Sue serves as an argumentative and opposing force to Reed Richards' intelligence and his moral grayness in making decisions, and also to, you know, offset Johnny's hot-headedness, that Johnny's just going to rush forward full of hot-headed fire and vigor, and Sue serves as a focal point to block both of those, but is never the central figure of the show. She is the central figure of the Fantastic Four. Like historically, from 1961 and on, Sue Storm is the central figure of the Fantastic Four. We look at things from Reed's point of view, but it's always Reed looking to Sue, because Sue is the heart that Reed doesn't have. That's the heart that exists outside of his body.
He's the brain.
He is the brain. And one thing they do well with this, with Pedro Pascal as Reed Richards in this, that they did not do when Juan Gruffield and others have done Reed Richards, is they showed us Reed realizing what needed to be done, coming to the decisions that he knows are difficult and are going to be problematic, that everybody's going to eventually come to as well. But he doesn't lead them to it. He says, well, think of a way. He already knows the way. He waits for everybody else to get there too.
Yeah, it was very different.
Right? For those big decisions, those important moments, he lets everybody else come to the decision he's already made. He knows, okay, you're smart enough. He said he surrounded himself with really smart people, and they are. Each one of them makes really smart decisions and shows their intelligence in the course of this movie. In, from Johnny learning a whole language to Ben realizing the spin around the black hole to build up the speed to get out of there. All of them come up with their own individual decisions. And then Sue realizing that Franklin has to be the bait. And Reed never says it. Sue knows when she gets there.
She's mad at him anyway.
She's mad at him, but she also came to the conclusion herself. He didn't lead her there. And that's what's happened in other Fantastic Fours, is that Reed leads everyone to the water and doesn't realize and this one showed so well that the other three are just as capable of getting to the water as he is, and that he doesn't have to lead them there. They'll get there on his own. And that frees him up to think of the bigger problems. And I loved that about this. That he says, I invite the worst into my imagination so that I may confront it. But it means I think of the most terrible things that could occur. The baby's carriage is radiation proof. The only reason it's radiation proof is because he's conceived of a place where it gets irradiated.
I'm not gonna lie, I identified with
You're so Reed Richards.
Reed Richards, unbelievably. I wrote in high school an award-winning speech on the benefits of paranoia, basically telling you how you can be prepared for everything if you're paranoid enough. It was for fun and funny, and I won a competition. But I felt that deep within my soul, because oftentimes you and I, Kyle, have had the same fight that they had.
I'm not lying.
Trust me, guys, I'm Franklin, so I would
Sue
know.
Storm-coded, so I know.
I know, but I have gone, here are all of the terrible things that will result from this decision. And you're like, I hate that you've gone through all of these scenarios.
Yep.
I felt very called out by Reed Richards, but I also appreciated him in a lot of ways, and how kind he was.
I just love how kind of soft Pedro Pascal approached that, because it's very easy to do that kind of character and be kind of rushed and this is the way it has to be. Guys, this is the way it has to be. Listen to me, and kind of just force it. But no, Pedro kind of just was he was always kind of sad and disappointed with himself for coming to a conclusion. And that was very kind of soft, and I really appreciated it. And their relationship, you knew they loved each other at every single moment. Even when they were fighting, you knew okay, they are fighting because this is important, and because they love each other.
I have a question for Will. We know Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian, and he is daddy to baby Grogu. Do you think that he is a better daddy in this or a better daddy in The Mandalorian? Because he can't escape being daddy. That's just he is now permanently daddy.
Guys, we've seen him in real life, of course.
I think he is a worse dad in this than in The Mandalorian, because in Mandalorian, as the Mandalorian, he gives up, Grogu literally gives up becoming a Jedi and learning from Luke to go forward with Mando. And as said by my father, he, in this, Reed Richards, thinks about sacrificing his child, which still is being a worse dad.
Yeah, no, I don't think that Mando is smart enough to have come to that conclusion. He's not very smart. He's kind of not a very smart man. I don't think
Mandalorian's getting put in that position either.
Yeah, that's true. But it's interesting, the parallels, because both of them are healing children. Both of them are specialty divine children. It feels like a very, maybe they looked at him and were like, oh yeah, he's got that vibe. He can pull it off.
They are both the golden child.
Yeah. So let's talk about the B plots. Okay, what is better? What is a better ship in your opinion? Johnny and the Silver Surfer, or Ben and the school teacher? Yes, Rachel.
Natasha Lyonne.
Yeah.
Or somebody whispered to me midway through the movie, "Hey, Dad."
She's from But I'm a Cheerleader.
Right.
Yeah.
That's where I know her from. I don't know her from anything
At
else. I
some
don't
point,
think.
when you're older, we're going to watch American Pie.
Yeah.
With Allison Hannigan?
Yeah. Also Allison Hannigan in that
Guys, I love
movie.
Allison Hannigan. Sorry.
Oh, boy. Okay, so there was that. There was the Ben Grimm subplot. There was the Johnny.
Yeah, we had
and-
2 romance
yeah,
plots.
2 romance.
Which one is better? Because they both got equal amounts of screen time.
Yeah, they really did.
They really did. Will, what did you think?
I would say that the Johnny Silver Surfer one got more screen time because it was talked about by the other characters.
Right.
And it was an integral point to a plot, which, big spoiler here, Johnny, right before they defeated Galactus, was going to sacrifice himself, and then the Silver Surfer sacrificed herself instead of Johnny's sacrifice, which would make it a better ship.
She didn't die, though. She is definitely somewhere in space.
The edge of the universe.
Yeah, I actually preferred Ben's because it was more quiet. And it was about him facing how he interacts with society. And this is something he struggles with. Like you see him you see his face in the
No.
magazine.
They definitely told us that. They didn't.
Yeah.
Sorry,
They showed
they
us.
showed us.
They
that.
showed us that,
They did
yeah.
not tell us. It was
But
lovely.
I loved the little like moments that we had with Natasha Lyonne's character, and
She was very lovable.
she called him distinguished with his beard, which I thought was really wonderful.
There's something really unique about the Fantastic Four that is interesting from a Marvel perspective. So we have our mutants, our X-Men, and they are reviled and they're condemned by society. And if you are a mutant in view, people will throw things at you and treat you poorly. And then you have your Avengers group, which are hero worshipped. And they are mob rushed by fans and whatnot.
Treated like celebrities.
Treated more than celebrities
Yeah.
because they are heroes, right? But the Fantastic Four kind of walk this middle ground where they are not heroes, but they're also everyday people. Ben Grimm is able to go out and do some shopping and see some kids on the street, and while he's dealing with his rocky exterior, the people around him, typically in Fantastic Four books and movies, typically treat him like a normal human being.
Yeah, they're not afraid of him.
They're not afraid of him. They're not afraid of the Fantastic Four, but they also don't similarly hero worship them the same way.
No, they're providing like
They're
a
like
service.
actors.
They're like firemen in a way, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah, like they're
Very
like
famous
firemen. Right. Yeah.
It's so interesting that people just listen to the Fantastic Four and go about their day. Like, I saw Mr. Fantastic at the dry cleaners today. Like, it's just a point of note. It's not like they're rushing to get their autographs and hanging out there isn't this degree of fear, I guess, also that comes from the Avengers. When Iron Man or the Hulk or Thor is there,
it's scary.
Something devastating and damaging is going to happen.
It reminded me of Spider-Man in a little bit, like the friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Yeah.
In a way, but they're still dealing with these cosmic things because they are filled with cosmic energy, and so it will inevitably get to that cosmic interaction with gods and monsters.
I think part of why they are treated with this like kind of level of respect is because ultimately these are very like hyper intelligent, and not in like a billionaire way, the same way Tony Stark is. Like they are just average.
They're just scientists,
but very intelligent, very lovely people. And like, okay, Mr. Fantastic, he's basically Bill Nye.
Right.
He's basically Bill Nye. He has his own little TV show where he's teaching kids about science. And Susan, she is up and basically at like UNICEF meetings and like at all of these like UN stuff and like helping to coordinate between different aspects of their world. Like they are very important in other ways than just being heroes. And that's a very important distinction. Like they are humanitarians, not heroes, you know?
Especially watching the movie we just saw last week with the destruction of a city and like the people getting hurt and having to be hurriedly saved, right? All those
The same
times
city.
Superman
they
had to
were like,
literally save people.
We're going to evacuate the Fantastic Four. Like, we've got this plan. We're going to call in the, help, and we're going to evacuate. No one's going to get hurt.
They function like the UN does.
Yeah. Or
like they're very democratic. They're very, we're not going to unilaterally make these decisions the same way Superman did, like intervening. They're very careful with how they portray themselves politically. It's very interesting.
So I didn't think there was as many parallels between Superman and Fantastic Four, but there really are, with the way in which the setting is managed and destroyed in a way that I felt like, okay, well, that's okay that building collapsed.
Yeah.
Everybody got out. They were all escorted out to Subterranea because they thought about that first.
Yeah.
It just shows that the screenwriters did that much more work and effort to put intelligence into the show. And so it is active as opposed to reactive.
Yes. Yeah. And it definitely shows also the intelligence of the Fantastic Four to be like, we need to protect the people. We know what this danger looks like. And it reminded me of times we've done role-playing games and we've been given a puzzle and we've thought it all through and then it goes perfectly. Not that this was perfect, certainly, but like the danger.
In a way, it kind of was.
Like, it relied on these heroic efforts in the end, but it made me appreciate the planning that they did.
Yeah. And then they succeeded, but not in the way that they thought they were going to.
Yeah.
And certainly not in the way that we thought they were going to.
To be fair, guys, Susan was definitely rolling death checks at the end.
Yes, that's true. I think
Superhero
she actually
roleplay.
failed her third death save and somebody spent a white gem.
The baby resurrected her.
Yeah. And to that end, I want to speak to Sue Storm's quality of character and the center of the show, because she's the pregnant lady who's like, I'm still going to go and do these things. And I'm not just one thing.
I'm also not just a damsel in this situation.
And that's perfectly exemplified by the conversation that Reed and Sue have in the bedroom, where he's like, you're the first pregnant person to be doing all of this. And she's like, yeah, I know. Just because I'm not saying it out loud does not mean I'm not aware, Reed.
Do you not think that, like, I'm already thinking about that?
I'm literally pregnant.
Yeah.
I think about it all the time.
Yeah.
I am not separated from this situation like you, dude.
And it was so interesting.
Yeah.
I will admit, definitely her being pregnant for half the movie was hard for me. It made me a little uncomfortable because I was like, okay, there's like 3 women in this movie, 2 of which are complete B-side characters. Silver Surfer, the manager lady, and then, Sue Storm, the only major female character with a major part in the movie with major impact. Silver Surfer, you could argue, but we are obviously, empathizing with Sue, seeing her perspective the entire time. I was rooting against the Silver Surfer, so it's kind of different. And the fact that she was pregnant for half the movie, I was like, this is great. We want more pregnant people on screen. We want more of that representation. But it was definitely like uncomfortable for me because I was like, okay, we're putting one major female character on screen. She's pregnant the entire time, and then also dealing with like newborn baby the entire time. And I think they handled it with a lot of grace, but I could definitely see how that would be a big turnoff for some people on this movie because it's like an uncomfortable topic.
Child endangerment?
Yeah.
That's how you're...
And also just like, for some people, the thought of being pregnant or experiencing pregnancy is horrific to some people.
Yeah.
And even through a movie setting, it could be. Me, myself, as a person who has done it twice, never wanted to do it again.
Thanks, Mom.
Right? But you guys both exist because of it. Finger guns.
Yeah. I do think that they did handle the birth with actual like real artistic like intrigue though, because like I like the pants just flying away. That was very funny.
Can we talk about that just for a second?
Yes, of course.
Sure.
I'm steering the conversation towards it.
It is something that a lot of people don't acknowledge, but before modern medicine, people died all the time in pregnancy and birth, and by putting it during an action sequence, by putting it basically being pursued by death, they made it a heroic act that she delivered. And so like that as a lens is not something I have seen other than in
I guess
sort of medieval or like pre-medicine
or
media,
or like in the case
story.
where the pregnant person dies, that it's kind of considered heroic. But that's not really like, it's also, it was like deeply interpersonal. Like all three of those men, she trusted with her life. Even if Reed wasn't there, she would have been okay.
Well,
you know, because Ben comes in at the end and cuts the umbilical cord.
And like is caring for the baby immediately. And that to me is really, really important because it shows the importance to the community is not just the feminine, but also this nurturing masculine, this masculine that's willing to protect, care, feed, clothe, change, hold baby, carry baby around everywhere.
Yeah.
You know, and that makes the community whole.
Another thing that I really liked is that like focus wasn't just baby. It ultimately the focus, like we literally had this sun in the background and Reed and Sue were like actually kind of in a romantic moment where he was like helping to impose gravity upon her and like kind of take care of her, and she was like, please don't leave me. And like oftentimes when you see this kind of thing in movies or TV, it's portrayed as kind of like a oh wow, that man is doing nothing to help her. He is doing nothing. But in this case, he was doing stuff, guys.
Yeah.
It was very romantic and very well done and just so beautiful.
It is interesting to see how the two of you view this and like this and feel like, oh, it's never seen, because it's a really common thing to see in modern horror. In A Quiet Place and The Walking Dead, there is a lot more of that.
You know how much I watch horror, right?
Right. Yeah, exactly.
I watch a lot of horror, but
not those horrors, and these zombie horrors and predator
but
horrors.
that totally makes sense because
right?
because it tends to be post-apocalyptic and there isn't
and death is on the line.
Death is on the line, but like
it's done different, like, because I definitely understand what you mean, like it's because I definitely have seen that before because I've watched, you know, like zombie movies with you and stuff. It's done differently. It's never done like this where it's like this beautiful positive thing. It's usually done with like this is the worst possible situation, and that's what I kind of mean. Like birth is usually viewed as this, like, this is the worst, this is defining characteristic suffrage of people with uteruses. And like in this case it was like, oh, this is a beautiful family moment, even her brother is here. He's driving the car.
Yeah, no, I also really appreciate that they were like, strap her down, and she's like, no, like she still had like
bodily autonomy.
And then he stretched to keep her down and talked about how gravity was going to be necessary for her in order to give birth.
And then they had the gravity well,
right?
And no,
so
I thought it was done very well, and that
she had so much bodily autonomy, guys.
That could have been very bad.
Yeah, no, it was done with like such love and care, and that was important.
And I think it was all set right from the beginning very, very well. We have friends who have been struggling for 7+ years with infertility and trying to have a baby, and to watch that come to fruition on screen while it's coming to fruition for our friends in real life was very touching and an emotional moment for me. And to see how Vanessa Kirby and Pedro Pascal in their characters and in their role embodied the emotional joy that came from that was really powerful. And I really loved the little beeping 1960s style, but still futuristic tech pregnancy test.
And that was the first scene.
I know.
Like this show is coming at you with this, like, you just have to be ready, you know? Like, you cannot be like, oh, this is going to be just a normal superhero movie, because this is about ultimately family and their family planning. Well, it's a part of the family.
We've talked about the first part of the movie. We've talked about the, in-between part of the movie. Could we please talk about the post-credits scene?
Sure.
Because
Sure.
that
Who
is
doesn't love Eric Carle and, eating all the strawberries and eating all the watermelon and eating all the...
What? Oh.
And then he became a beautiful butterfly.
Oh, yeah, they were reading
he was a
the
beautiful
hungry
butterfly.
caterpillar.
They were the very hungry caterpillar.
Yes.
I love that guy.
Yeah.
That was a staple in our house. So
Yeah. Yes,
And they
it's a
didn't even
staple in
say
many
the
houses.
book's last page
I know.
correctly. I was like, it's a beautiful butterfly, not just a butterfly. But like, I think that was done deliberately so that it was not.
But you could tell it was a caterpillar. I was like,
Eric
yeah, that's
Carle.
the cat.
Yeah, that's not Eric Carle's book. It's something similar to it. But yeah, so, or is that the post-credit scene you're referring to?
the ending of that post-credits scene.
Oh, I really
okay.
no. Just to touch on that, I really like how it's clearly defined that they're reading Charles Darwin to Franklin.
Franklin loves evolution. That kid is a smart
Could you tell
kid.
us a little bit about Franklin in a second? But let's talk.
Sure.
What did you think?
I will say the only time I heard Will laugh out loud during the movie was when it said 4 years later. And Will laughed at the fact that it was 4.
Because every single time that they did any kind of time jump in the movie, it was always 4 months,
Yeah.
4 minutes, stuff like that. And
That's
I was
funny.
like, 4 years later, and I just laughed out
It's only
loud.
just because we saw Superman like 2 weeks ago, and it was 3, 3, 3,
Yeah,
3, 3, 3, 3. Yeah.
Well, I guess this is one up from Superman because now it's 4.
Yeah, guys, what's the 5 movie? Let's get the
Franklin.
5 movie in here.
Franklin.
No, like the movie about the number 5.
Number 5, yeah. So you saw the man talking to the baby, reaching out with his mask off. Do you know who that was?
Yes, I know that is Doom. That
Okay.
is Dr.
Dr. Doom.
I'm
yeah.
not happy about
That-
MCU's plans for
Actually,
Dr.
that
Doom.
is Robert Downey Jr. or Iron Man.
I'm not happy. I know that they're doing it for a reason. I just wish they were going to get a Romani actor to play Dr. Doom because his entire backstory is about being Romani, and yet we're doing we're just bringing Robert Downey Jr. back.
I mean,
Choices have been made. I'm willing to wait and see, but
we'll see if he has a
fair
good accent.
critique.
No accent.
You just want him to talk like Iron Man?
Yeah.
Is that you, Iron Man?
All right. Cool.
What did you think of the end moment?
I really enjoyed the end scene solely with the beginning part, the revelation that Doom is there and cuddling the baby is less impactful for me. Doom is a connected character in many of the iterations to Sue Storm and to Reed Richards, whether or not they went to school together or they did science together. There's lots of instances where Doom and the Richards are working together or also opposed. And so Doom is well acquainted and knows them very well, not only as an antagonist, but also as a personal friend before the antagonism comes about. And so him having a connection and wanting to cuddle with the toddler it's not as dark and menacing and dire as we're immediately led to believe.
It could be, right? It could be
Yeah.
just,
He's
just
hey.
Oh, you and your cloak again.
Yeah. Uncle Victor sort of thing
Yeah.
is very possible, especially when you look at how Sue handled Subterranea and the Mole Man
Yeah.
in this and became a spokesperson to the Fantastic Future Foundation. That makes sense to me because they have always been good at building bridges, and they don't necessarily, the Fantastic Four doesn't
They
necessarily
did build some bridges in this
Yeah.
movie. Yeah.
they don't destroy bad guys. They typically find ways to
Cooperate.
we'll see where the bad guy's perspective is and his point of view, and then bring them around to
Their instinct was to negotiate with the giant planet-eating
Yeah.
god rather than to try and destroy him right away.
And you know what?
Exactly.
Even Reed Richards was like, "We could just give him our baby. We definitely could do that."
He didn't say that until Sue said it.
No. But he thought it.
Just because we think things doesn't mean we do things, right?
Yeah, he definitely thought that was an option.
yeah. And
But he did
got
not do
yelled
that
at for that too.
But he did not do that. So
Right.
I'm just saying it was very plausible. And it was in the minds of every person in the audience. Yeah, they definitely could do that. They wouldn't, but they could.
Over the course of the movie, I was like, okay, Galactus, seen a bit of Galactus material, but he's not a very big character in Marvel media for a long time. It takes him forever to show up multiple times. And I liked Galactus in this movie. I liked how he was just like, I'm just so hungry, man.
So hungry.
I'm sorry that I have to eat your planet, but like, I need to eat something.
Do you guys know where you recognize Galactus from?
Fortnite.
No. Ralph Innes, who was in
Oh, I didn't know that Galactus was
Ralph Innes.
an individual.
Yeah, he was body played as well as his voice was Ralph Innes. You know him from Willow. He played Ballantine, the main like guard of the twins,
Cool.
who then like got corrupted and went evil and
That's so sad.
went after them. Yeah. He
That's
got
pretty cool.
very hurt during the filming of Willow, and he's only just recovered.
Yeah, and now his back is all dripping lava.
Yeah.
So
that was
that's pretty
weird.
hard.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
I thought his voice was perfect.
Oh, it was great.
Because he's got such a deep voice.
him poking him with the stick and then opening the floodgates. I was like, that's like popping a pimple.
Yeah.
I was also like, why didn't Sue Storm just like open up all the floodgates? Because when Reed Richard opened up all the floodgates previously, it visually did a lot of damage to Galactus.
He needs the lava to live, guys.
Yeah.
It's like his blood force.
I really liked that we got an understanding of what Galactus wanted without really like having to have solo scenes with Galactus.
No.
Kind of expanding upon his own piece, just quietly articulating his own like, raw Jeremy Irons in Aragon is always the thing I hated the most because it took you away from our central character and gave you the perspective of this crazed individual. Instead, we constantly got them going to Galactus or the Silver Surfer talking to Galactus to get that perspective of like, and I didn't even think he wanted to eat the child.
Yeah, nor did Mom.
Yeah.
No, he wanted the child to eat him.
Well, he wanted the child to eat his curse, whether or not it's eat him or eat the curse.
He wanted him to take on the thing.
He was gonna eat that baby. You guys know that, right?
No, he was not going to eat. He was not going to eat the baby. He wanted to die. Galactus wanted to die. That is what you.
Maybe eating the baby would have been like killing him. Now time to feed.
Now time to feed.
Like feed the baby.
Feed the baby to him.
He said, I want to rest. And that is the universal sign for
He
immortals.
wants to rest because he's full, Mom. He wants to be finally full in his tummy.
He wants his tummy to finally stop having this quaking starvation that he needs to rest by eating random planets.
He wanted the baby to take over for him. He was going to feed the baby.
I don't think it was the baby would take over for him. The baby had no, he didn't quite say that
No,
either.
he wanted the baby's power. So
I think it's great. We all saw the same movie and we all got different motivations for Galactus's motivation.
He's going to take on the mantle from me.
No.
Nope.
He did say that.
No.
Yeah, I think you're gaslighting yourself.
No.
He didn't phrase it like that.
He knows that Franklin Richards has the power to change the universe howsoever Franklin Richards wants.
Oh, interesting.
It's Lathe of Heaven stuff.
Okay.
He is a matter transmuter sort of person and can make reality what he will of it. And it has done dramatic things and traumatic things to all of the world of Marvel over many wonderful crossover events over the years.
That he's being pulled out for Doomsday.
Yes.
Then.
So Franklin Richards has the ability to wipe the curse clean of Galactus. Franklin Richards can say, you hunger no more, and Galactus would be free of the curse that is upon him. And he doesn't have to become the world eater himself to do it. He can just make it so.
Interesting.
Yeah.
And that's how he saved his mom, because he wished that his mom was still living, and so he made that happen.
Exactly.
That's why he wanted to be next to her so badly, is so that he could have that contact and finally free her of death.
Free her of death.
Radiates with the power cosmic, and a lot of the cosmic beings are not happy about Franklin Richards because of what Franklin Richards can do to them.
I.e. anything he wants.
Exactly.
He's like the reality stone.
In many ways, yes, he is like one of the Infinity Stones or all of the Infinity Stones.
No, I would argue that he is just the Reality Stone, because it's not like he's making time go back or also the Reality Stone is just all of the stones, but no one needs to hear that argument.
Yeah.
Many times me and my brother have argued that you could just go, oh, you only need this stone with the Reality Stone to snap and delete half the universe.
Absolutely.
And Thanos didn't do that.
He's just such an overachiever.
Yes. And so there's like all these things that happen as a result of it. Like Reed Richards developed psychic inhibitors that reduce Franklin's access to his powers. Franklin Richards is nonstop getting abducted and kidnapped and vanishing, and people have to go constantly find him. And he becomes this very annoying figure in Marvel Comics.
Does he have an annoying teenage phase? Please say he has an annoying
So he
teenage
never
phase.
really gets to the teenage phase because oftentimes they reset. Because what do you do with a person who can just rewrite the world as he sees fit?
It fits Divine Child. It's very hard to turn that into functional adult.
Ugh, Dune.
Yeah, absolutely. So he's constantly a child. I think they tried to develop him as a teenager now. He's got a younger sister that serves as a great foil to him, Valeria Richards.
I feel like it's definitely possible. The thing is, like, you're going to want to approach it from this, like, he's grown up and his parents have drilled into him that, like, he has to be cosmically aware at all times.
Yeah.
If he accidentally wishes something, it could have dire consequences.
Yep.
And so, like, you give him, like, so much anxiety.
Yeah. Well,
Give him all the anxiety.
There's another
He's
part.
so paranoid.
There's another part where he like uses his powers only once a year, like of his own volition, so that he can experience a proper normal childhood. So, which is such an arbitrary thing to do.
His parents have they've got such like strict rules on his powers, and they're like, we have to, and he experiences a whole child of going through like tests and ECGs to make sure that everything is normal and that he's not accidentally wished himself tachycardia.
Well, I don't think anything ever happens to him by accident, but like his once a year thing is weird, where it's like, Franklin, we really need you to use your abilities because Ben has been turned into an actual rock and we need you to bring him back. And then Franklin's like, oh, but my ice cream cake started to melt yesterday, so I made my ice cream cake not melty ice cream cake, and so I kind of already used my ability for this year. Like,
I mean,
he's gonna be such an annoying rule follower.
yes, as you should be if you are the child of
Cosmic
Franklin
being.
and Seuss.
I mean, on the terms of once per year, like, I watched a video on this, but Ben once per year can turn human and not be a rock.
That's so weird.
So once per year, he's not half rock human.
That's so weird.
So he only ages for 1 day every year.
That's funny.
It's his birthday.
Everybody deserves a
perfect
birthday.
You know, there's going to be a lot of time jumping in the Fantastic Four comic books. There's going to be a lot of 1 year later, 4 years later.
Yeah, I liked that movie a lot, you guys.
Any last thoughts, Kyle?
I loved this movie so much. In many ways, it really spoke to me in the same way that the first Doctor Strange movie did.
Yeah, yeah.
We have a central protagonist who is intellect first and develops amazing abilities and whatnot, but they stem from intelligence. And it is nice to see scientists get to take the lead in things that is not like tech bro Tony Stark style.
Yeah.
You know, we watch Reed wiping things away on a blackboard and redoing the math and then thinking about creating levers and using actual, movie science in order to create the foundation for their motivation and reason. And I really appreciated that. And it is nice to see a loving, caring relationship, even if it's got its problems and little, inter-character personality rubbing against each other.
You know
roughly.
what, guys, though? They did all that, and like Reed Richards and everybody there, they had like 3 hours of sleep. The only person I think that actually slept a full night was Johnny. Like, genuinely.
But he didn't even sleep because he was too busy learning a language he'd never heard before.
Like, none of those people had any sleep. They just had a newborn. it's fine. They're allowed to argue.
Johnny spent the entire movie decoding an alien language based off of
So
one
he could flirt with a
sentence.
girl.
Well, no, he was just trying to actually guilt trip her into helping
Yeah,
them.
that's
It
flirting
was
for her.
also he found a problem and he needed to worry at it. He needed to approach it with scientific rigor.
He needed to feel useful.
And also he's smart. It shows he's smart, like we talked about.
Exactly.
But it also shows like sometimes discoveries and sometimes things take persistence.
Yeah.
Persistence was such an important theme in this.
Yeah.
What I really liked is that like Sue completely validated him and was like, this is important. Please keep doing it. We need you to keep on this stuff because this is going to be key. This is going to make or break our reality.
And it ended up being the thing that convinced his paramour that he was interested in that he gave her empathy, absolutely understood empathy, was willing to be the person in her shoes. And she was like, no, it only has to be me. And that sort of kindness and empathy, although he used it in a very mean way to start, he was willing to be her. He really was. He would have gone through that portal and Galactus might have been like, now you're my herald, dude.
Yep. As Galactus has done in antiquity as well. I really loved what they did with Galactus, and I'm interested to see what happens next with Galactus, which is great because while
They didn't kill him.
he's not defeated.
Yeah.
He's just pushed away.
Yeah, that was
Which
so
is always the
interesting.
best part about Galactus. You can't defeat Galactus. You can only drive Galactus back. You can never truly eliminate hunger. You can only abet hunger for a little while.
Well, it's a balance of like consumption will inevitably happen again. Death happens.
We're just praying it's a million
Death
years
happens,
later.
but you can, in the meantime, create to balance it out
Also-
and to create a balance in it.
But, I mean, a body's got to eat.
What are they gonna do with their with his ship? It's just chilling right there.
Gonna
Like
dismantle it and learn the tech from it.
Probably get lots of cool resources from the other planets that he has consumed in there and hasn't had a chance to eat.
nom 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 nom.
Nom 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 nom.
Okay.
So where does this movie rank in the hierarchy of Marvel movies for you, Will? Top third, mid third, bottom third?
So my favorite movie of all time in Marvel movies is Guardians of the Galaxy. I really love that movie. The whole soundtrack is good. I could consider it a musical because of the amount of songs in it. And I would say it's like 1 to 2 movies down from Guardians of the Galaxy.
So
it's
top third for sure.
Yeah, it's like top 3 Marvel movies of all time.
Wow.
I genuinely agree with that. I think it's in the top third of all of my Marvel movies.
Wow.
I think Ragnarok is up there. I think like I wouldn't say it's middle because it's a good movie. It is
Yeah.
a good movie. And in a grand scheme of Marvel, we don't have a lot of really good, solid, feel good movies like that. Like I would have to say like the first Iron Man movie is really good. The second Iron Man movie
Spider-Man
is also really
one,
good.
although that was
all of
Sony.
the Spider-Mans are amazing.
Except for No Way Home.
No Way Home, still really good.
Ugh,
Not the ending.
Back scratches.
I don't care. That movie
fact that
gets
they
worse
killed
every
her-
time you watch
The
it.
fact
so.
that they killed her is unfortunate, but I still really like that movie.
Unfortunate.
And seeing it in theaters is maybe one of my favorite movie experiences of all time.
Okay, I liked No Way Home. I just didn't like the ending.
It is hard, yeah.
Because it's so hard to watch the other 2 Spider-Man movies and fall in love with that Spider-Man and how you like his friends, you like Ned, and then immediately, boom. Yeah, so and then it's so awkward in the end.
Yeah, let's strip him of his friends and his aunt and leave him with nothing. Where was it for you?
You know that the like Captain America movies are like very
We all
high
know,
up.
yes.
in my
Oh,
list
goodness,
for,
yeah,
like,
yeah,
everything,
yeah.
like
What
Winter
about
Soldier,
Civil War.
War,
new
even
one?
the first Avengers.
First Avenger.
Is like all 3 of those are like
I actually really like the new Cap movie too.
really high for me. I
Yeah.
mean, we're going up against Iron Man.
Oh, guys,
one.
Thunderbolt is also in Thunderbolts is in the
was
top third.
really
for me.
high. We didn't record on it, but it was really good for me as well.
Trust me, somebody has said everything that we could have said about Thunderbolts.
Ragnarok, of course.
Yes,
So
but
good.
where does
Ragnarok
this
is my
one fit?
favorite.
It is behind those ones. that I just mentioned.
Wow.
That's what
So
I was
still
saying.
top third?
Oh, absolutely top third.
Barely cracking your top 10.
Yeah, I would say
it's really high up there. I haven't had a chance to think about all of the Marvel movies.
that's so
really
many.
hard.
And also like,
but
you know, Captain America. Wait, what is she called again? Captain Marvel. Captain Marvel movies were really good, and Eternals was actually pretty good as a standalone because Eternals is weird like that. Like there's so many Marvel movies.
Solid.
It's hard.
movie.
It's hard to say like where it fits, but I would say it's top or at least very top of the middle.
Oh, so it's not top thirds for you. It's
okay. It's
mid-tier.
hard to place, but it's like definitely lower top third or middle or very high middle top third.
Okay.
Where is it for you?
Doctor Strange is my favorite of all of the Marvel movies, and this one is either second or could easily surpass it.
If you watched again, and
I already want to watch it again to look for the things I didn't see, because in the same way that WandaVision constantly gave you new things to look at in the background, I feel like that is happening in Fantastic Four. If you look at Times Square is still as full of televisions and visual interest in this movie as it is today, but all of the TV screens are like CRT TV screens, are tubes TV screens, and it's that sort of level of detail that I'm interested in seeing again, and I want to
live in the world. Like it was futuristic 60s, absolutely, late 50s, early 60s. But it was anachronistic in a way to say, this is what we imagined. Like when Walt Disney imagined Tomorrowland.
Yeah, it's so Tomorrowland.
That's Tomorrowland.
Yeah,
right?
Absolutely.
And to me, it really is apropos that instead of moving the Fantastic Four like meet and greets to Avengers Campus, they're putting them in Tomorrowland.
Yeah, no, I love that.
It's super, but that is the world. And I thought about like how big steampunk was in the 1980s, and I'm like, we've gotten far enough away from the 60s that we can build this anachronistic romanticized version of the 60s again. We can pull back the Disney love of what the future was supposed to be in his mind when he was thinking about it in the 50s and 60s.
I mean, on the term of like theme parks and stuff, I was like, the entire space sequence minus like the pregnancy and like going into labor would be an amazing like roller coaster experience that they could put into one of the Tomorrowlands. Or
I
all
want
of them.
giant Galactus grabs you.
Oh, that's great. I want to close much the same way the movie did, and that you need to stick around through the credits, but pay close attention to the song that's being played.
Yeah, it was great.
It sounds like a pop song you've already heard, and you're like, oh, I've just never really heard that song.
Yeah.
Like so many Guardians of the Galaxy movies and other Marvel movies have played famous songs. This is not a song you've ever heard before.
They invented a song, and it is amazing.
This is a Galactus cult song, a Galactus cult pop song called Let Us Be Devoured by Andrea Datzman, who also does the TV show in the show, the Terry Gilbert show, I think it's called.
Yeah.
There's the theme song for that. Well, she wrote that with Michael Giacchino. This song, Let Us Be Devoured, is a delight and absolutely worth your attention and time while you're waiting for the Easter eggs at the end of the movie.
What did you think of the Jack Kirby quote at the end?
Yeah, that was absolutely perfect and necessary. We create things in order to find a way to live on in time. And Jack Kirby has done this with these characters and a whole bunch of other Marvel characters as well. And the Fantastic Four are very personal and special to Jack Kirby when these first came out in 1961. And to make this universe 827 important because that's Jack Kirby's birthday is really nice, as a really nice nod to give us that quote and then tell us why this universe exists in this way at the end, and it ties the whole thing together. And then you get a in memory of Inez Shackman, who is Matt Shackman's grandma, who passed away this year as well. At the end too, is it just connects us to our relevant personal history while we create something that hopefully will outlast us.
Wonderful. Well, thank you everyone for recording on this with me. I really, really appreciate all your thoughts. And thanks.
Alrighty. Thanks for podcasting, Dormammu.
Who's Dormammu?
Strange goes to Dormammu and is like, Dormammu, I've come to bargain. In the same way that Reed Richards goes to Galactus and is like, so about the baby.
Hey, man.
So, Galactus, about that podcast?
Like, no, Dormammu, I've come to podcast is iconic and objectively the best thing we've made. So
I came up with that.
Yes, you did.
Yes, you did.
And-
so let's close with it.
cool.
Dormammu,
I've come to podcast. And it's, see, the thing is, you could put this whole episode on a loop, and it would repeat and repeat and repeat, because that's what they do. He comes back again every single time.
I know.